Hey there, Ryan Celestine here, and over the weekend we did the Ozark Valley Triathlon, and it has been 6 years since I'd done that race, and it never disappoints. It is a challenging race there at Lake Weddington and in Arkansas, and yeah, it's always a humbling day. Always a humbling day. But so this is my long form race recap video. If you want to see a short version, just check out the shorts from yesterday. If you want the long form version where you can nerd out on some of the details and get my thoughts, that's what this video is for. I'm in a place where, hey, we're not doing any edits, no cuts, no fancy, video edits, anything like that. Just talk for a few minutes, share my insights, and move on to the daily shorts tomorrow. So with that, let's jump into it. First of all, just want to give a shout out to Ozark Valley Tri race directors in all sports production. I mean, you guys did a great job at the race yesterday. Just really thankful for race directors who continue to persist and continue to provide great resources, great races, a great experience for everyone participating, because I know it's definitely a labor of love and there's a lot of energy and time that goes into it. So shout out to all you guys and ladies for continuing to persist. Yesterday was really awesome to see so many first timers show up and do the race. It was really a cool experience, and I remember back in 2009 when I first started doing the sport, and I met a lot of new people yesterday. I met a lot of new beginners, and it's just taking me back. So anyway, let's break down the race. So after I did Ironman Tulsa, 70.3, I think it was like 3 weeks ago, I was feeling pretty hungry after that race. Now, leading into that race, the volume's been pretty low. Even for half, even for Olympic distance, it's been pretty low. But with that, what happens with me is whenever I have consistency and whenever I have certain types of training, it starts building that confidence. And whenever that confidence starts happening, expectations start to creep in. And I don't know if you can relate, but that's how I'm wired. When I'm consistent and I'm consistently crushing my sessions, that confidence builds up. And then I think about, oh, look at what would it look like to run this time or swim this time or bike this time. That's what just starts happening with me. And so leading up to this race, Ozark Valley Tri, I was looking at all my splits from the previous years. I've done this race 5 times, 2010, 2011, 2012, and then I believe it was 2015 and I think 17. And over the years, had some really good days and had some not so great days, but always had a fantastic experience. And when I was looking at the splits, I was like, I think I can, hit some new PRs. And that little expectation started creeping in. And, the video I did the day before the race, I said, I don't think that I'm going to have a grand slam of a day. I don't think I'm going to, set a new PR overall. But I genuinely believe that one of the 3 disciplines, I was going to crush it. And that didn't happen. It's like that meme, expectations versus reality. And I was quickly humbled on the day. And so let's break it down. So on the swim, I'm now an old man. Okay, I'm now racing as a 40-year-old. My birthday is August. I'll turn 40. So now I'm in a whole different perspective of racing. Certain races, there's different, divisions and swim waves. And, so the young bucks, the young guns got to go 5 minutes before me. And as someone who's not a strong swimmer, I was really not happy about it, but it is what it is, This is a chapter of life that we're in. We get to make the most of it. So they go off, and I get in the water, and I have a bit of a situation with my goggles. so I'm swimming along, and my goggles leaking, and I'm like, oh, that's not good. And I press it too hard, and now it's like suctioning my eye, and I'm just swimming out of one eye for about 100 to 200 meters. I'm like, this is not going to work. And so I stop a little bit and fix it, and everything's good. But I lost some time there. And on the swim, you're swimming with the current for a little bit. You turn, and you have a current going across you, and then you swim into the current. When you turn around again. And so always at the beginning of a race, even my swim sessions in the pool, I always swim faster in the beginning than later on. I don't know, it is what it is. I always feel really fresh in the beginning. I told my wife I don't do warm-ups because I don't want to use up I don't want to use up the extra speed that just happens in the beginning for me. Anyway, so when I turned into to swim into the current, I was making sure that I was working hard, and I was putting a little bit more effort to swim against the current. And so when I'm getting out of the water, I ended up cutting my foot. Something sharp cut me. Didn't think anything about it until later in the day when I got home, and like I have a gash on my foot. And I think I stepped on a piece of glass coming out of the swim. Not ideal, but it is what it is. Didn't have a bad day because of that. But I looked down at my watch and I swam 21:23. And right away I was a little disappointed because I felt like I was kind of towards the back of the pack. I felt like, I was behind already. I was technically behind, the young guns in front of me. I was behind in my own age group. There were a couple women who passed me who started 5 minutes behind me. And I'm like, oh my goodness, But I didn't let it bother me. And I sprint through transition, sprint up this 200-meter long hill climb up to T1, get on my bike. And here's where it gets fun. I opt to have my shoes clipped in, and this was an amateur mistake. It's an uphill ride out of transition, and I can't get on my bike properly, and I fall. Yes, I fell, and I was so embarrassed, and I cut my hand up, and then I threw my chain, and I'm trying to get my chain unstuck, and someone comes over and helps me. It was a disaster. So embarrassing. I wasn't mad, I wasn't irritated, I wasn't annoyed, I was just embarrassed. I was so embarrassed, and I just looked at my wife and I said something like, isn't that something? Because that's the first time it's ever happened to me, and so I was just super embarrassed, and so anyway, got on the bike and just started going to work on the bike, and the first half of the bike portion, really nice roads, it was really smooth. I felt like I was crushing it. Absolutely crushing it. And then we made some turns, of course, and the roads got a little more rough, and maybe there was a headwind, I don't know. But I was not, the first part of the ride I had a really good feel. The next part of the ride I did not have a feel at all. It was like I was struggling to try to find that good feel and rhythm. And anyway, make it back to transition. Ended up riding 54:05, and which is not ideal, but also if you take into account the 2.5 minutes where I'm messing with my chain, where I fell off my bike, I couldn't get clipped in, 2.5 minutes off that puts me at around a 51:30, and that's decent. Okay, that's decent for the day. Okay, decent for the day. Now my swim, I ended up having the 26th fastest swim time. On the bike, I believe it was the 4th fastest bike time, and that is with the 2.5 minute clinic on what not to do coming out of T1. And so, again, I didn't let that discourage me. I just put my head down and went to work and made the most of it. Hop in transition, hop in T2, hop off the bike, getting everything set for the run, get on the run, and just go to town. And right away, I'm running, and there's a woman in front of me, and the gap is not, I'm not closing the gap as quickly as I would have liked. And it's actually kind of a struggle to close the gap, and I'm thinking, okay, that's not ideal, that's not good. And I eventually catch her. Now, if you're not familiar with Ozark Valley Tri, there is a hill on the run course. It's absolutely brutal. And it's a 2-lap run course. You get to do it twice. And man, I know it's there. Mentally, I thought I was prepared to run this brutal hill, and I wasn't. I mean, the moment I saw it, I'm like, oh my goodness, not again. I can't, it's just trauma when I see the hill. And anyway, I survive up the hill. Now, one thing that my wife did say coming out of T2 was, hey, there's just a few people in front of you. I'm thinking, how? I thought I was so far behind in the, from the first swim group. I thought I had a bad swim compared to my own age group, and the ladies had caught me, and I don't know how there's only a few in front of me. But anyway, there's also different races going on. A sprint was going on, a duathlon was going on, so there's people all over the course, and there's no real way to tell who's who. And so the first time I actually see someone I know they're in front of me, a guy named Toby. He's a local to Arkansas. I actually met him at Ironman Tulsa, and he and I both got a roll down slot to Finland World Championships. Anyway, so I knew he was going to be there. I knew he had a great bike ride, and knew he had a great swim, and so that was the first time I actually knew who was in front of me. Was just him. And so anyway, keep running along, trying to catch people I see, make up on the downhills, the horrible suffering that I had on the uphills, and really pushing the pace on the downhills and whatever flat sections are available. But it's constantly just up and down, and if it's not rolling, it's just straight up, and then it's straight down. So it was a tough run. Ended up running a 25:49 for the run, and in my mind, I'm like, oh my goodness, like literally, I didn't have a PR for the swim, didn't have a PR for the bike, didn't have a PR for the run, have a total time of 1:43.50, and I was a little disappointed. I knew I wasn't planning to have an all-star breakout Grand Slam race overall, but I really believed that I could knock out a PR for one of the three, swim, bike, or run. And when it didn't happen, I was pretty disappointed. When I crossed the finish line, they're telling me that I'm third overall, and I'm just kind of scratching my head like, how is that possible? This is a state championship race. I've just had quite possibly one of the worst races I've had at this race, and here I am placing third overall. Like, this is really bizarre. So I'm kind of in this like just disbelief. I don't believe it. There's no way this is actually real. And come to find out, I placed third overall, and which was definitely weird, a weird feeling, weird experience. Toby, he ended up placing first, so congratulations, Toby. And I asked Toby before the awards, I was like, hey, do you ever feel weird or awkward or embarrassed whenever you podium and you don't have, your fastest day? And I always feel weird and embarrassed by that. And I think because, there's been times where I'll have a PR, but I'll end up placing 10th or 15th. And then there's times like yesterday where I placed third and, had some of the slower times I've ever had. And so anyway, it was a roller coaster of emotions. Like I said, hype and excitement leading to the race, and then expectations versus reality, and then recognizing like, hey, you know what? We haven't really done a whole lot of solid training after Tulsa. There's a little bit of recovery, then there was vacation, then there was just keeping the body moving, and I was really chomping at the bit. Like, I just want to get back out there. I want to race. I want to push. I want to grow. I want to continue the development, and the expectations of just going out there and knocking it out of the park. At least in one of the disciplines, it just didn't happen. And so I was bummed. And then yesterday I came home, and I just started looking at my splits from all the previous years. And so I looked at my median splits. And so for the swim, my median split is 20:48. And so that's literally 30-second difference of what I did yesterday. And so the goggle mishap, there's 30 seconds right there. The bike, my median split is 51:45. That's literally around the same time if I hadn't have, fallen off my bike and, thrown my chain off and got it stuck, And then the run, my median run time is 25:42. And that's right on point with what I ran yesterday. And all of a sudden, I was no longer feeling bad or disappointed, feeling sorry for myself. And I realized that, like, one, with the low volume that we're doing this year, and to have this kind of race is pretty good. I know there's other times that I've been much better fitness at this race, and, I'm not in that fitness right now, but I'm still in the ballpark of what my median average times are. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome to be. And so that really was encouraging. That really lifted my spirits. I was really only off overall. My median overall time is 1:39:48. And my overall time yesterday was 1:43:50. You take off 2.5 minutes for the bike mishap, and we're in the same ballpark within a minute. And so really, really encouraged by that. And I recognize that I'm in a season where I want to get back to where I was, and it's going to take time. It's going to take patience, and I get to show myself a lot of grace and have a lot of patience and realize that these races are an indication of where I'm at, but not an indication of where I'm going. And these races are not a priority races. These races are to get out there and experience what it's like to race again. Get out there and fall on my face, literally. Literally fall on my face and get through those things. So each race, we're building on that experience, the race day anxiety, the race morning anxiety, the horrible night's sleep, all those different things to prepare myself for the next one. And so that was really helpful for me to experience. And from that perspective, fantastic day. Absolutely fantastic day to get out there, to push, for it to not go the way I want, but to recognize that this is where we're at right now, but it doesn't mean this is where we're going to be 30 days from now, 60 days from now, 90 days from now? What are the A priority races that we're training for, and focus on that. Realize that there's always an opportunity to learn and grow and experience that. So what's next? In 3 weeks, I'm doing another half Ironman. It's going to be here locally in Tulsa, and really looking forward to that. But truthfully, I'm looking forward to training. I feel like Tulsa was a great race, Ironman Tulsa 70.3, and it just lit a spark inside me, and I just want to start seeing some progression. In the last 2 weeks, we haven't really been training; we've been maintaining, and again, kind of the same thing headed into this other race. But at least the next 2 weeks, there are some solid sessions we're going to be putting out. But I'm really looking forward to get this third race covered here in 3 weeks, and then train leading into Finland World Championships in August. And then from August to November, getting ready for Ironman Arizona. And so these races have been really good to get in there and feel what it's like to race again, to get some of these things figured out and sorted, and just puts me in a good spot to move forward. So with that, this video is 16 minutes long. Again, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Like I said, the whole point of these is to just kind of give you the thoughts and insights after a race, and the shorts to just kind of share my journey, share the journey from a daily perspective. Coach gave me my new sessions, and so really excited to talk about those this week and experience those for the first time. So hey, if you raced Ozark Valley Tri, go ahead and drop a comment below, sharing what your favorite part of the race was, what your takeaway was, and what's your next race. Like I said, my next race is 3 weeks. Going to do another half Ironman, and really looking forward to that. Oh, also one thing I wanted to shout out. To Ruth from Summer Roundup Triathlon. She is phenomenal, and it's kind of funny. She was the one who kind of helped me when my bike was messed up, and awesome race director. She is doing Summer Roundup on June 25th. So if you're looking for a shorter race to do, it's in Joplin, Missouri. Definitely want to do that race. This is going to be the last year for the race under Ruth being a race director and things like that. So one, thank you, Ruth, for your support. Thank you for what you've contributed to all these different races and things like that. But also shout out to you, what you're doing, and invite anyone who wants to check out that race. Summer Roundup is in 3 weeks on June 25th. You don't want to miss that. So with that, tomorrow I'll be sharing my new swim session and my new run session, and I'm really looking forward to getting out there and training and making it work. So we'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.